So this morning we went up behind us. Now, we were only sort of getting into Hunnable area when Ethy spotted some pigs over behind us. Like, he spotted them from about 1,000 metres out. So, we've come back to camp. We've had a good glass. We found a second lot of pigs and we spotted some fallow. Now the fallow are up that way and the pigs are up that way. And we lost sight of the fallow. What we think is the fallow have gone to bed in some timber. So we're going to try and get up the hill above them. The wind's coming this way. And get upwind and watch them and see if we can find them. What do you reckon, Ace? Good plan?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see how we go.
Well, let's be honest about it. Kids can test your patience something chronic. And a lot of the time we go hunting to get away from it all. But how can we get our kids out there with us and make it enjoyable for them and for you? Let's take a look at my approach. Well, g'day everybody. Just thought we're in the lead up to Christmas and all that jazz, and a few of you have probably seen that I have started doing a fair bit of hunting with my young bloke. Now, how do you gear up for that? I thought that was a worthy video. How do you do it effectively? How do you keep the costs down? And you can just buy stuff for a season and then burn it, and it's done within 3 or 4 months of a season. So I had a bit of a think, did some research online, and what I came up with was this. Now, my young bloke is 7, he's starting to grow like fury. Where do you go? Well, the first point for me was, I remember as a young kid, my oldie's taken me up to Barrington Tops in the snow. And I can tell you, while it's an awesome experience and you're seeing the snow, back in the 70s, gear and shoes and jackets and all that was expensive. Quality was pretty ordinary. And after a while, the novelty wears off pretty darn quick. When your feet are freezing, your toes feel like someone's sticking pins and needles through them. So I started to think, if my young bloke is comfortable, he's going to be a lot more willing to join me on the hunts and maybe endure some pain and a bit of suffering in other areas, like climbing big hills and walking for a day or two before we see anything. Because in reality, that's what the hunt's about. We don't go out every time and get something on the ground. So, first stop was the internet. What did I find? Well, I found it hard to go past the Little Critters pack from Ridgeline. Now, it's not gear I wear myself, but it's definitely got a place depending on your budget. So, in the Ridgeline Little Critters pack, there was 4 items. There was this short sleeve fleece, and it's quite a good weight fleece, probably a 250 GSM, around there, maybe a 200. Short sleeve tee. That is the young bloke's go-to bit of gear. He just puts that on first whenever we go out. Magnificent. Kept him warm in some really cold conditions, but he can still wear it when it warms up. The second bit of kit in that was this essentially a quarter, 1/3 zip, long sleeve, mid-insulation layer that can be worn instead of the tee or over the top. It's pretty much, I think, the same weight as the tee is, a good weight. It's got Velcro cuffs on it, so it can stop the wind getting through. Nice high collar, comes up around the back of his neck, and then it's got the track pants. Really good elastic bands, so they're comfortable. A drawstring so you can cinch it up where required. Elastic elastic cuffs on the legs, which are great, keeps the wind out, and 2 zippered pockets, which is really good for him to keep stuff in. And yeah, he loves collecting rocks in his case, so he drops rocks in those. But I must say, in the areas I hunt, he doesn't wear them because we have heaps of burrs and farmers' friends and sticky beaks, which just fleece, particularly on your legs where you're exposed to them more, just collects them like fury. And with this, the break in the drought through this and heavy rainfall through 21, and also now looking like we're going into 22 and plenty of growth, those sorts of weeds are very prevalent at certain times of the season. So I was thinking about where to go in terms of pants. Once again, it's got to be comfortable, it's got to be versatile, and hopefully it has some space for growth in it. Well, I was in there buying a fuel canister at Macpac in the local Macpac store, and I came across these. Now, I'm not sure whether these are still available, but these are kids' pants. They're very similar to a lot of the hunting pants. They're a lighter, what do we got? They're a lighter nylon elastane fabric. They're a two-way stretch, so they're comfortable. You can actually turn them into shorts and by zipping the lower leg off. And they also have an adjustable waistband in here with elastic and a button adjustment. So you can buy them a bit bigger and then cinch them up for him or her currently, and then as they grow a bit, let them out. Yeah, it's got cargo pocket, zip cargo pockets on the right, a Velcro small pocket on the left, good hand warmer pockets in the usual place, and it's got 2 pockets in the back, although they're just open. But that cargo pocket on the right leg is magnificent. He loves these things. These were about, from memory, and I'll try and put the links up down below, they were about $79 on special. Now, I ended up ordering him 2 pairs of those. I got 1 pair and I went back and ordered online through Macpac a 2nd pair, which was bloody brilliant, you know. Now, they are a lighter pant, so use them in summer or, you know, in the earlier part of the season when it's still warm. So I went, and not that I'm a lover of their brand, Kathmandu, but for a kid, a set of merino thermals, yeah, they were, I can't remember what cost they were. I'll try and put a link up to see what they were, but he's worn those on 2 occasions and then slips those pants over the top. So in really cold, windy weather, that's keeping him out. So the next point of call was, he's pretty warm. What about footwear? Well, footwear, as most people know, is hard enough to select for yourself, let alone for kids, given availability. It's becoming better and better all the time in Australia. But the thing to remember is, just because one guy says these boots are the bomb, doesn't mean they're going to suit you. Feet are so individualistic. I've just suffered 3 months of plantar fasciitis in my left foot, but I'm pretty darn certain what happened was I changed the brand and style of work boot that I wore, which I'm in them for 12 hours. You know, I can do anywhere up to 20,000 steps in a shift and climb 50 flights of stairs. I think that's what started it, and then I bought a new set of runners, which was a brand of and model of runner I'd never used before, and that was killing me too. And when I realized that that was possibly the cause of it, I went back and bought the same make and model of boots I'd had previously, and I tried a set of my old runners, a shout out to Salomon Speed Crosses, and wow, came back from work, I'm not in as much pain, did a couple of runs, I'm not in as much pain. So I've since gone and bought a new set of Salomon Speed Crosses for running in. So why I say that is because what you use doesn't necessarily mean it suits me. Yeah, I run, I think it's pronounced Garnet hunting boots. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you or anyone else. Yep, there's great stuff out there. See Zeb is running lowers and he's really happy with them, but you need to try the boots on. It's no use getting back from a 12k hike through the mountains over one day and you now can't walk the next day. So there's some other options out there. I might put a couple of links down below to different options. So that's hard enough with adults. Where did I go for kids? And I racked my brain for a fair period of time. And then I thought, Anaconda. So off I went to Anaconda one morning on the way home from work, and I had a look. And they actually had 3 or 4 different models of boots for kids. So that afternoon I took the young bloke down. It's just starting to rain again here. And he tried them on. And we ended up with these. Now these are specifically a kid's shoe. They're made by High Tech. And the beauty of them is, once again, people are starting to realise they have this extra footbed in them. They call it big feet system. So as they get older and their feet get bigger, you can buy these a size and a half, 2 sizes bigger, but so their foot doesn't flop around in the boot, you put this extra footbed in, and that decreases the vertical room. That's great because these are about a size and a half, maybe 2 sizes too big for him, so he should get 2 years out of these. Now they're Gore-Tex lined, I believe. Yep, or they're waterproof. They might be Dry-Tex or one of those. Just trying to have a look, but they are waterproof. Yeah, I can't remember what they are, but yeah, he's given these a fair caning for a kid on 4 or 5 hunts so far in mountain country. Yeah, lots of grass, blackberries, burrs and mud. You know, still got the mud on them from the last hunt. Gave them a slight brush off. Nice grippy sole. They haven't got a heel like I like on a boot, a dedicated heel, but they're nice and grippy, and he hasn't had any problems wearing them. So yeah, that is another great option. I think from memory I paid $89 on special. Normally they're about $110. So then my next decision was, as we got a bit further into the season, was it's starting to cool off. And as I said, we've had a wet season. What do I get for him in terms of staying warm and dry? Now, one thing I've worked out, and a few other guys that I've hunted with worked out, like when I went into the Vic High Country with Bolt Action Productions, Robbo and I both bought the Maroka 30, I think it's the waterproof pack jacket. It's just a tri-laminate Gore-Tex style, it may even be Gore-Tex, I'm not sure, fabric, and welded together, and that's all it is. You know, seam sealed and welded together. But the big thing with it is that it's windproof as well, because it's waterproof. You put that on over another layer, you cut the wind out of you, and it keeps you so much warmer. And that's magnificent. So I thought, what's out there for kids? And once again, Ridgeline had a torrent jacket for kids. Now, and I can't find the torrent jacket for kids listed on their website currently. Now, also Ridgeline, if you get wind of this video, I'd reintroduce it because this was like $140, $150, and I think I picked it up on special for like $120. And he's worn this one afternoon around here in April 2021 when we had about 100 mil of rain in a day, and I was out in the afternoon cleaning drains, and he wore this helping me clean drains out around my place and stayed dry as a whistle in it. Because it's a micro fleece on the outside, yeah, it holds a bit of water and it does get a bit heavier, but that's a bit of a compromise when it's your kids and you don't want to spend a heap of money on them because they're going to grow out of it. So I bought this about 2 sizes too big for him. Once again, elastic and Velcro cuffs so you can seal them off. It has got a nice big zip on it, which zips from bottom or top, and it's got a storm flap on it. It's got nice deep pockets in the front, which is great for if he wants to carry something. In the field, also, it's got a nice good adjustable hood to pull it back out of their heads, and it's got a bit of a very elasticide, well, it's a pull cord to snug that hood down around the head with elastic shock cord and stops on there. So it's got essentially a 2-way adjustable hood, and it's got a bit of a peak on it there, which is great. Now, he hasn't worn that, or we haven't hunted in the rain this year. We were fortunate, but he did pull it out on one day when it was a howling southwesterly, and that kept him warm, which was great. But the other side of that is you really want to evaluate how kids carry stuff, and we'll get to that in a moment.
Pretty good going for a young bloke from that dam all the way down and up here. And that's freaking slippery coming up there. Very wet. So we stopped for a break just down here and then wandered up the track because I thought we're going in the right direction. No, literally just down here about 50, 60 metres. And don't know how we went. I think I got 2, but Dad's offhand shooting's a bit on the arse these days. Haven't done a lot offhand, so room for improvement. Ethy's going down there to check out, so we'll go and have a look.
Ethy.
Yeah.
So what did you think? Was it worth the climb up here?
Yeah.
So which pig was this one I got, do you think? The first or the second one?
First.
No, I think it was the second one, and it wasn't a good shot.
Mm.
And so what happened, Ethy? You tell the story. When the pigs took off, the other pig took off and ran down the hill. We were walking down the hill, and what happened?
I heard the bushes shaking, then I heard a pig noise, then...
And what did you see first, though?
A pig?
No, before...
Oh, blood.
Where was the blood?
Up there.
And it was what, brushed off on?
Sticks.
On the sticks and weeds. And then what did you see then, mate?
The pig.
Yeah, but you told me you saw something. You just said it before.
More blood.
No, you heard it, didn't you? You thought you heard it?
Pig.
Yeah, moving around in the grass, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you told Dad where it was?
Yeah, then you shot it.
Yeah, we followed it down the hill, and yeah, it's only small. It's like maybe 30 kilos, but grizzled old thing. Like, it's got tough skin. It's done a hard life. I wonder whether it was born in the drought, like in its 5 or 6 years, and its growth was stunted, because it's really rough. So
So it was worth the walk up here, eh?
Yeah.
Dad thought they were a bit bigger when we spotted them from way down there, about 800-900 metres away. But it is what it is. We finally got onto them, and Ethy did really well to walk up here. We've gained a fair bit of altitude, recoup, and decide what we do. Hey, Eth, you think that's a good idea?
Yes.
All right.
All right, so the other thing that I considered when I was thinking about starting to take Ethan hunting was, one, I wanted to start to get him used to carrying some weight, because I'm not carrying everything for him, and I want to promote a aspect of self-reliance in him and preparing. So he's got all his kit and he's ready and he can go out. Now, part of that was another aspect of carrying water. Now, I know what kids are like from the point of view that if you take some stuff, they go, oh, I'm hungry, or I'm thirsty, or this or that. All of a sudden, you're going, where's all my water? He's drank it all. Now, that's not good then if something happens and I have to get him home or back to camp and I'm dehydrated because he's drank all my water, I'm not going to perform to my standard. So I thought, let's get him a little Camelback. So I think this one was about $120, something like that. It might have even been on special. Yeah, nice sort of sandy colour. It sort of fits with a lot of the grass in winter around here. It had a 2-litre bladder. It's the new style Camelback bladder that the line disconnects, so it's much easier to clean. It's got the bite valve and a shut-off valve on it, which he can work. And it's also got a pocket in the side for a couple of muesli bars, a piece of fruit, whatever. So it works really well for that. You know, it's got some elastic compression on the side, and maybe he doesn't use it for eternity, but he's getting used to carrying some weight on his back. He's got the water, and it's worked far better than I expected. Well, the final piece of the year equation came after the first hunt, and I should have realised this based on my own experience, but sometimes you get locked into thinking from your own perspective, and that was his boots got damp, but they're waterproof, as we discussed with these little high-techs, but his socks and pants got really wet, and he also got a few burrs down from his pants into there. So I thought, I've got to get him some gaiters. Oh, I didn't know where to start with gaiters for kids. I was having a look around, and then off a pure chance, I rang Morocco 30 and I got Daz Hawkins, and a big shout out to Daz. He's a great guy. His channel on YouTube is awesome if you want to go and check it out, Into the Mountains. And I had a chat with him, and he said, we've just finished prototyping our first batch of gaiters for kids, and they will be out. He said, let me give you a call back in a couple of days, which he did. Got some measurements to him, and we ended up with these kids' gaiters. Now, really impressed with them. They have worked so well. Yeah, they're elasticized around here. Got a good cinch strap on the top. Nice big zip here to get them on, and a nice big stainless hook to retain them down in the front of the boot, down there. They work really well. Ethan's got used to them great. The only issue we found with them was that when he was, after a while of wearing them, the back would ride up and they'd leave a little gap at the back of his boot. Had a search around, and I think it's Hunter's Element do these gaiter straps. So it's just essentially a split ring and some insulated stainless wire, and we've put those on the bottom, and that's sorted a big part of the issue for him. Just put them on from the front, hook them under the boot, hook the stainless hook down in the front of his laces, and do them up. Really, in essence, if you look out for what you're buying and watch the specials, we've got a pair of boots around 90 bucks, pants that cost him about 80 to 90 bucks, I think. And then the little critters pack, which you can pick up, or I picked up on special, I think was 95 bucks. So for under around 300 bucks, I've got him kitted out for 80% of scenarios. Spent a little more later on, a few months later, got him the Torrent jacket. And you know, it'd actually be great to see maybe Morocco 30 do a kids version of their waterproof jacket, which I'll list up a link to. And a Camelback, which I bought when I bought his boots. So it's really important we get our young kids out there, get them in before we lose the opportunity and they find other potential distractions and interests, because they're the future of our sport. And it drives me to do stuff like I'm doing now, so he has the opportunity to get out there. So yeah, I hope that's helpful, and yeah, we'll see you next time, because there's some further developments in gear for my young bloke, and we'll look at those in the coming months. Thanks a lot, guys.